What I say is true. Lake life on all lakes is different. Everywhere you go, it's going to be a little different. But this is going to be the same. When everything's going wrong and nothing feels right, you wake up in the morning and you come out your door, you're on the lake. It's all good. It's still all good. That's a country song. Everything is sucking and everything is bad, but it's still all good because of where you're at. If you are able to open your eyes and your heart to the world around you, to the natural world, and feel it, it will soothe your soul. The other people, they pop a top and tip that bottle back or something else. Me, myself, I just open the door and I look out here. It's lake life. Yeah, you're right. And it's windy all of a sudden. Let me tell you some of my troubles of lately out here on the lake. Yeah, you're right. So there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. You may have seen I had to help Tulsa out the door. I had to help her off the porch and into the yard, and she won't leave the yard. She went and laid down in a spot. My red bone has gone lame. I am worried, but again, I think it's going to be fine. I'm going to tell you what happened. She tried to follow Blanca, the cat, up these stairs behind me, and she fell. I had my back turned. I was in the kitchen at the sink, and I heard her fall. I'm pretty sure that's what she did, because Blanca was up on the ladder halfway. He doesn't go all the way up and hang out in a loft or something. He just, when he comes inside, that's one of the places where he perches or sits or whatever up on there. And she tried to follow him up there, sniffing his butt or something, and she must have fell or tripped. She hurt her right front leg. This is the third day. It's been 2 days. She's getting a little better. She will walk a short ways out when Yaz and I go out to do the business or walk around, but she won't go far. She wants to come back. She just needs to stay off it, and it'll get better. But yeah, I'm worried about my dog. She hurt herself. Yeah, your right hand here, roll over there and roll back. Here we go. Look at this. You know what that is? This is a cheap charger for the e-bike. I bought it maybe about going on 3 weeks ago. It's dead. It don't work anymore. It don't work anymore. Now the other one obviously stopped working, but I had it for years for that Hemingway, that Zebra out. I got it out in my yard right now. So I've got 2 bars on my battery and no way to charge. That cost me $32. It was a big question which one I should get, because at the moment I was like, I can't show up to the lake. I mean, this is a good ways away, but not far. Like, if you take the interstate, this is 6.5 hours away. If you take the scenic route, a little over 9 hours. We did the scenic route. Not that I wanted to, but we came up the scenic route, saw all the country stuff, and it was nice and excruciatingly long and slow, because you're stuck doing 55. Well, that's what the speed limit is a lot of times. Lots of stopping and slowing down, because you're out in the country. You got tractors in front of you and then things going on. So you're not on the interstate doing 70 or whoop over that. So here we are. We showed up, caught a charge, and then boom, it wasn't even a full charge. It just stopped. It died in the middle of a charge over at Billy Faye's. I was over at Billy Faye's up in the shop charging, and all of a sudden, I walked over to check, and the light was off, and I said to Billy Faye, I can't remember what this charger does. Does the light stop when it's fully charged, or does it go red? They're all different. So why did I get this cheap knockoff? It's not a Hemingway charger. Why did I get that off Amazon? Well, because the one from Hemingway that does work really good and is trustworthy is $95. And at the time, yeah, all my money came whoop into getting here. So I couldn't afford to spend $95 plus shipping and all that and taxes. It would have been over $100 for sure. So I got one, because Prime and all that, I got one for $32. I could have gotten one for $17, but I was like, oh, that probably won't last long. Well, shit. The one for $32 didn't last long either. So that's just one thing, right? That's just one thing. But there's other things. They all pile up. They all pile up sometimes, So I'll just replace that and end up spending on getting an expensive one, just so I know I have a trustworthy charger that's going to last for a few years, like the first one did. Yeah, that'll be next week. So I'm on foot to do fishing, but that's cool. You know why? Because when I open this door and I look out there, the lake's right there. It's not far away. I mean, I'll just go right straight ahead of me, or to the left, or to the right. And there's people out here. Sometimes I just walk out and jump in a truck. But I like walking out with the bike and riding off too, because I can go other places away from the lake, other places, creeks, ponds, and rivers on the bike. So we'll spend money next week and get it. So there's other things that are bothering me. Is there's a lot of uncertainty in the air. A lot of uncertainty. This series of videos I'm trying to produce, tiny home videos, it might go from being tiny home on the lake, tiny home life on the lake, to just lake life, because I might not be able to live in this tiny home. I might have to move into a smaller tiny home that I don't want to move into because it's smaller. Now, people say, oh, but it's bigger because it has an actual bedroom. The bedroom's on the ground floor. This one, yes, it's got the winter loft and the summer loft, but what that means is, and you look around, it has a lot of storage capability, and you see how stylized it is with the paneling. The other one just looks like a little, all it is, you walk in and there's a small kitchenette with a small living space and then a small bedroom. Yeah, I just don't think I'm going to fit in there. I mean, it looks like I'm fitting into this one just fine with some ingenuity, right? But you don't know. There's a lot of stuff up there. There's stuff where you can't see it. Nicked away, right? Buggered. Oh, no. It's put away. Yeah. So it would be buggered to be going into a smaller one. I just don't. But I found another option. If I can't stay in this one, it's not that. I mean, there's always uncertainty of like, will I be able to, as a YouTuber, you know, when winter comes, will I be able to afford to stay during winter, you know, with the rent and utilities and other expenses a YouTuber may, you know, have outside of like food and everything. It's like I live on a fixed income, but I supply it to myself through my work rather than it coming from retirement or other things. But so I have a lot of common with people out here because there's a lot of retirees out here, and there's a lot of retirees trying to get out here, but there's low availability. They drive by and they go slowing down and looking at me. I wave at them and they pull up in my driveway and I'm like, oh, what's this? And 9 times out of 10, they're asking me about the properties, the tiny homes. Like, are they rentable? How did you get that? Because they've been driving by looking for something and looking online, and there's low availability in the area, not just the lake, but all around. There's not a lot. And some of the stuff that's available is maybe out of their price range, and some of the few things that are below or in their price range that are available are not desirable to everybody. Like, this is really nice for being in my price range, but there's stuff in my price range out here, a few things, we're talking 3, 4, 5 things that are about as bad as that trailer I just moved out of in Belle Chase. So yeah, they're asking me, how did I get this? Well, I just had patience and kept inquiring, and you know, I rented it. But I get here, and the landlady, through text, I told her I had dogs and cats and that I was coming in late October. And then when that changed, because, you know, Ray helped me come out here. First, Ray thought we could do it in late October, but things changed and Ray could only do it in early October before I got paid again. I was like, oh, geez, I'm gonna show up with no money. Well, very little. Not enough to turn utilities on, right? So I gotta wait till next week. Yeah, it is what it is. That's what I'm saying. It's like a fixed income. We get paid once a month, and yeah, it's not always the same amount. But all right, when I showed up and I had to get everything unloaded onto the porch, and the Ray went off back down there, and she showed up about an hour later or something. She acted like she didn't know I had dogs and didn't know that I was coming on that day. But you know, I texted her, told her I was. Hey, it's all good. You know, some people are all over the place, really busy, and other things, and things get lost, especially with older people. So you gotta be patient with some people. It's not like you have to just harshly judge this lady for this. Sometimes I'm all over the place because lots of moving parts in my life, you know, in my business and everything. So, you know, I didn't freak out. I just like reminded her, but yes, I did tell you. And then just as time goes on, she's telling me she's uncomfortable renting to me because of the dogs, but she already took my money, you know, to hold this. I already gave her the move-in money, but I haven't signed a lease. She didn't show up with a lease. So I don't know what's going on. She was asking me if I had a girlfriend where I could keep my dogs, or if I had another place to go, and I'm like, there's no way that I'm gonna move back in with my father. I don't want to live with my father. We don't get along. We hadn't seen each other for like over 30 years, dang near 40 years. He didn't speak to me, and he just showed up one day, and all of a sudden we're happy families, but it not really. So I've got options. I found a backup if I can't stay here. But yeah, lots of uncertainty. However, I open this door and I walk out, and there's the lake. It's lake life. That's a country song, or it's a story. Like, even though everything seems to be going to shit, and every day something breaks, or there's some other downfall, some pitfall, still on the lake, and I can still just walk out there and fish, and that's what I've been doing. I'm still working, Somebody says, oh, blah, 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 and it brings you downhill, but going downhill is where the lake is. You know what I'm saying? It's not all about fishing. Water's still really warm here in mid-October. There's people swimming out there right now. I might go do that in a bit before it's time to go fishing. Yeah, there's hummingbirds, there's nature, we don't have city sounds. We got the train in the distance, but there's woes. There's bumps in the road. It's not all, rock candy mountain here. It's not always gonna be smooth sailing, but it's all good still, because you have the lake. Yeah, you're right. That's lake life. I mean, sometimes when you're looking at lifestyle videos on YouTube, people make something like van life, tiny home life, or whatever it is, like narrowboat life in the UK. They make it look so idyllic. But the truth is none of life just isn't idyllic. Things go wrong, like Murphy's Law. There's bad people out in the world. Everything seems nice and sweet and calm, and then some bad person staggers in and knocks over the lamp. Well, that's what a cat does, but you know what I mean. Or something just breaks. Life is not idyllic. We got all kinds of lifestyles to live, all kinds of lakes to live on, but throughout all the seasons, lake life is grand. Everything can be going to shit in your life, but it's still all good here in lake life, because the lake is right there, whether it's iced over or not. It is there to be enjoyed. And if you live on a lake and you've lost sight of the lake, my goodness, step outside and go out there to the water and enjoy it. Let go of the stress. Just living on the lake doesn't keep the stress away. The stress will still come, but my goodness, it is a lot better dealing with stress living out here on the lake. I gotta say, but it's hard to find a place out here. You gotta have something coming in every month to be out here. Either you own something. Owning something out here can be expensive, and it can be reasonable. Renting something can be expensive, and it can be reasonable. Yeah, right now I'm still in the process of settling in, and there's a lot of uncertainty, but there's fish biting out there, and they taste good because the water's clean, and there's nice people around here. There's a lot of people that will wave back when they're passing the house. There's people that will wave at me when we're passing like this, and it feels fulfilling. It feels like an accomplishment when you wave, big smile, and you wave as you're passing someone, and they give it back to you, or they do it first. Whoa. Because back in the day when I was growing up in Texas, that was really, really common, and it's slipping away. But out here on the lake, there's still a lot of people who are cordial in passing and friendly, and you know, you're not stopping and you're not trading life stories with them. You're just giving each other a kindness as you come by. You know, there's plenty of people out here that don't do that. You know, there's people that come out here from the city, and there's people out here, maybe they live in town, that have become urbanized in their mind. Yeah, and out here on this county lake, we got a giant county park, and it's all free camping. So we see a lot of different people out here from different places around Texas and sometimes other states camping for free. There's people living in the county parks out here because of the free camping. Some may seem sketchy, but so far everything's chill, all good. And yeah, you're right. Me sitting in my tiny home. But yeah, when lake life is a busted up country song, it's still all good because it's lake life. Thanks for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, being members of the channel. And yeah, you're right. I'll see y'all next time.